Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We're at the laundromat, gonna count quarters. It's Fun Car Friday, and even though it's raining, I still brought the Diablo because I don't have my truck back yet. As many of you know, my truck was stolen on Tuesday, was recovered, but it's still at the Ford dealership getting fixed since they flashed my computer and my keys don't work, and there's a few other things. So, the Diablo's all-wheel drive, so not my favorite car to drive in the rain, but it does a pretty good job. Now, I haven't done this for a long time, and that's shown the laundromat just with my regular camera, not while I'm collecting money. This is the first time I haven't seen anybody in here in a very long time, and there was actually people in here earlier. I filmed this after I was about ready to leave, and there's still people doing laundry there just in their cars, but just kind of nice to see the whole place. And yes, I did yell at that red car. Didn't yell at them, I was nice about it. Told them they had to move because they were parking there for the DMV and my laundromat spots. So, over the weekend, we had awful sales. I think it's because of Easter. We brought in $992 from the change machine. There wasn't nearly as much money in the big washers that we empty twice a week. And so I was really curious to see what our sales would be this week. The good news is there's a lot of money in there from the week. So you might remember last week, we had a record amount of change or money in the change machine after the weekend, and then kind of a slow week. I wasn't sure if because I changed cleaners and it got dirty in there. I was hoping I didn't chase off customers. Well, then this last week, we had a really small amount of money after the weekend, which was kind of worrisome, except for Easter. I'm like, maybe it was just Easter. But then this week, we had a bunch of money in there during the week. So that made me feel much, much better. I'm thinking it was just Easter, and we'll see how much money is in the machines themselves, and of course have our sales graph at the end. But it was good to see so much money in the change machine. I had already filled this up. I filled this up Monday all the way full. I filled it up Wednesday all the way full, and then I'm filling it up again here with my trusty ice scoop that I got from the liquor store. So the liquor store may not have amazing sales right now, but at least it got me this ice scoop, so it was all worth it. We are getting quite a few extra quarters, so I need to take those to the bank soon. Not sure when I have time to do that, but we'll try and figure it out. All right. Now, we did have some interesting fun in the vending machines this week. We'll show you what happened. As usual, checking money in here, and then there's an okay amount. I don't think we're setting any records. We had a lot in there a couple weeks ago. Also set a record for washers and dryers and everything a couple weeks ago, too. Need some snacks. We're getting low on chips. Again, we're always low on chips, I feel like. But nothing too crazy, too bad. Now, to the pop machine, or soda machine, or Coke machine, whatever you want to call it. This has been doing really well. This has been doing better and better and better. And someone made the comment last week, don't forget the Sprite. And guess what I did? I forgot Sprite again. And now I'm low on Coke and Pepsi. So I'm really running out of stuff. I need to get some. Maybe I'll make my kids help me this weekend, and we'll get some Sprite and Coke and Mountain Dew. We need quite a bit. Money-wise, there's a decent amount in there. And then we still have the dollar exchanger, which does work on this one. It doesn't work on my other vending machines. There's just a few bucks in there. Not that much. Alright, so sometimes I show when I refill the machine, sometimes I don't, just depends. I decided to show it today, not just because it's so interesting watching cans of soda or pop go into the machine, but because of what I did when I was doing that. So, I think someone told me the tabs should go in, but I can't remember if they said in or out on one of my videos, so I've just been putting them all in. Hopefully I'm doing that the right way. We haven't had any jam-ups or mess-ups lately, so that's good, knock on wood. This is the last of my Pepsi and the last of my Mountain Dew. I'm already out of Coke and Sprite, so yeah, I really need to go to the store. And I usually just go to Food King, the grocery store that's in my building that rents from me, because they have pretty affordable prices. Now, Mountain Dew. When I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, I probably shouldn't be going this fast. Because believe it or not, you'd think they wouldn't be built this way. They build these machines to be sharp and dangerous, not just for your hand that you stick in them, but also for cans of soda. So I believe I was on my last or second to last one when I did that. And yes, So, not a complete disaster. I'm sure that box will keep all the Mountain Dew from dripping everywhere. Mostly I took the brunt of the explosion, and I got it in there before it, sprayed customers or anything like that. But that's happened more than once to me, so it was all over my face and shirt, and I didn't even realize it. The camera too, so I think it slowly evaporated and came off the camera, but yeah, we got some nice Mountain Dew all over the place. So now I also learned my lesson here. I'm using this bucket to kind of hold the broken one, and then I cleaned it later. But I did not put quarters in it, because last time I did that, I feel like the change counter didn't work very well when I had wet quarters, so not doing that this time. And I figured, okay, I should probably try and clean each one of these cans, because I stuck that can in there real quick with the other cans just because I didn't know where else to put it. I didn't want to just spray people in the laundromat. I didn't think that would probably be good for customers. So it dripped all the way through and all over all the cans. It could have been way worse, but definitely we'll have some sugar residue left on a lot of these. So yeah, when you're busy and have a lot going on and a lot of stuff to do, it's always fun when you completely mess up like that and cost yourself more work. But it could have been worse, and it's not the end of the world. Now, I should have learned and maybe not put the cans so close to the edge here, or then decided to start double stacking them on top of each other. But why would that cause any problems? So I actually got pretty lucky here too. But I knocked that off, and I don't know if you saw that I thought that can exploded too. It landed right in the bucket, and I'm like, great. But it landed in the bucket, right? So at least it didn't land on the floor and then spray customers or go everywhere else. Did you see that? My keys flew off while I was closing this right into the Mountain Dew bucket. So maybe that was lucky, maybe that's lucky because now they're covered in Mountain Dew. And then the can itself was fine. It didn't explode. I thought it had fallen in there. What happened was the can had fallen directly on the other can, made the other can explode even more, and this can was fine. So look at the positives in life. They're everywhere. We saved a Mountain Dew today. Amazing. And then, yeah, I figured I would show kind of what I looked like after all this. Not too bad. It could be way worse. But at least it was me it got, and yeah, not like a customer or their clothes that they just washed, something like that. That would not have been good. So then we'll check the soap machine. Hopefully nothing explodes out of here. Oh, well, there's quite a bit of laundry detergent gone. All the Tide is gone on that one side. We do have 2 Tide dispensers, so that's okay. But that's better than last week. Last week we had almost nothing in here. So since my red bucket is now covered in Mountain Dew, I'm just going to put these directly in the change machine. And then, yeah, eventually my camera will clear up a little bit so it doesn't have Mountain Dew drops on it either. But yeah, the fun of owning a laundromat. Who knew? So we'll add these up real quick, and then after, of course, I fill this up. I don't show all of this, but just a little bit of the refilling process of the soap machine, detergent machine. I just haphazardly throw all of them together in the same box, which actually I think saves me time. It allows me to get these in there much quicker than just going back and forth and continuously getting each box and what I need. So I am sorry for those who have OCD and watch my videos, because I know it probably drives a lot of you crazy the way I do things, but that's just how I do things. I'm sorry. And no, I don't put them in the same way each time either. So sorry about that as well. Now we will see how much change we had in each of those. So first up is the soap laundry detergent dispenser, because I just dumped those straight in there. And we definitely had more than last week. Last week we didn't have much at all, only like $20 some. So $150, that's okay. That's what, 30, almost 40, not quite 40. Here is the vending machine, which was okay. Again, a couple weeks ago we had like $80 some in there or something. Smashed our record. Usually we're more like around 40. Almost 40, just shy. And then the pop machine, which had $5 right here. That's less than we have been having. We usually have 10 to 14, but we'll see what we've got in here. Get that started. I know there's some dimes and nickels, so I'm gonna make sure I grab those on the right side of the machine. And it almost finished. So there's like, I don't know, maybe $1 worth of those, and then we'll see what's stopping it. And it's a dollar coin. That's what's stopping it. So we'll put that back together. Hopefully that was the only issue. And then 150, a couple more dimes. Then we'll put all that on our chart. Make sure we put the dollar on there too, so that's all counted. Now, let's see what we've got in the washers and dryers. A lot of times that's the most fun part. So like I said, Easter was slow. I was hoping it wasn't because of cleaning issues. It will be interesting to see what's in these, because there wasn't much in even these big machines over the weekend. And the last few weekends, they've been super full. That one's okay. It's pretty full, but not crazy full. Let's see what this one's got. Our big 80. Oh, that's a good one. That's our 80-pounder people love. So that one was almost full. That's really good to see. During the week, that's awesome. Then we'll check our ones in front, then we'll check our smaller ones, see what all of them have. The new cleaning lady should actually save me some money too. So the old cleaning lady had been upping her hours more and more and more and more every week, and that's kind of why I started looking at what was going on. Oh, that's a good box too. And you know, she was claiming she was working 4 hours some days, which I have cameras. Oh, that's just all I'll say. That's a good one too. But really, it should take an hour each day if you stay on things to clean the laundromat. Maybe on super busy days or the weekends you go in a couple times, but it doesn't take a massive amount of time. Maybe every, you know, 1 day a week you clean all the machines and are real thorough and take a couple hours. But I mean, the tough part with a laundromat is you can clean it, and especially if it's raining or snowing outside, an hour later it's going to look trashed. And there's just no way to keep an unattended laundromat sparkling clean all the time. And every laundromat you go to is pretty much, they look dirty because it's so hard to keep them clean all the time. And it's just not worth it, you know, to have a full-time cleaner there constantly cleaning. So I think people understand that. They see the cleaner coming, they see we clean it, they see we are, you know, make a pretty good effort. So that's good. But yeah, it's still not going to be perfect all the time. And someone was working earlier, was it when I was doing the soap machine? I can't remember. Came up and said, "Oh, we just appreciate how much you've cleaned up this place and made it nice. It's great." So I hear that quite a bit. So that's nice to hear too. I never was in this laundromat before I took it over to know what it was like and how it was set up or anything like that. I just saw it after the previous owners had kind of left and saw the machines and the current state it was in at that point. So it's hard for me to say, you know, what it is like now compared to what it was like before. As far as operations go, now I can say that we added more machines and fixed the machines and have a lot better options now, I think, than it had before. And a lot more Mountain Dew all over, too. I doubt they had as much Mountain Dew all over their laundromat as we do. There was an out-of-order sign on that washer right there, and my cleaning lady actually came in later and was telling me about that. So that washer leaks once in a while, and people tell me that, and maybe I'm a bad laundromat owner because I'm like, well, it doesn't leak that much. It leaks a little bit, but it's just a little puddle, and in my book that's a win. Well, she said the other day she was in here and the thing just dumped water everywhere, and it was not just leaking a little bit. So that's why she put the out of order sign on it. So I told her thank you, and yeah, we'll try and figure it out. But if it's dumping water everywhere, we will put it out of order. Little tiny leaks, I mean, sometimes you can deal with those. So perfection can be the enemy of success. I don't know, that's probably not the exact quote, because I don't want to perfectly quote it, because that would, you know, hurt my point. But basically what that means is you're trying to be a perfectionist. You're trying to make everything perfect all the time, nonstop. And that could be in real estate, and business, and rentals, and flips, whatever it is. You're just going to spend months, years, just a massive amount of time on things that you don't need to do. So you don't have to be a perfectionist. People don't need things to be perfect. You can, do stuff 90%, and you're probably going to be ahead of 90% of people, honestly. So, did I not check the change in that one? Oh, man, I gypped myself. I think I didn't check that coin box. So, do I want to go back there and check that? Anyway, we're obviously counting quarters right now, but and I have my change machine back. So my change machine was in the truck when it got stolen, along with my golf clubs, some other stuff, and honestly I was more worried about my change counter than anything, I feel like. But I got it back. All my stuff was in the truck when they recovered it, so that's good. But yeah, pretty crazy. So anyway, yeah, I might have to go back there. I don't know if I have time. Maybe this weekend and see how much money was in that coin box, because it's got the out of order sign on it, so no one should be using it after that, and I could update my numbers. So I don't know how much will be in there, but there might be $500 to $600 enough to set a record. No, just kidding. There could be $50, maybe a little more in there. Who knows? Depends on how much it got used. So anyway, and we speed this up just so you don't have to watch the whole thing. But there's a little less money in here this week, I think, than last week. A lot less than 2 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago we just obliterated all our records. But again, it was Easter. I was thinking it could be a real rough week with Easter slowdown, and then if we also had like a slow week. But this week was very strong, very busy. I just mean, by week I mean Monday through Friday, and weekend obviously Saturday through and Sunday. But of course something. It's not a dollar coin. That is not a dollar coin. That is. Let me see if I can show you. That is an obliterated quarter. That thing looks like it's been through a car engine. I don't know what happened to it, but I can understand why my change machine was not working. That thing was bent and gnarled and just awful. All right, anyway, so I'd love to get 6,000 quarters from the washers, which would be $1,500. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there. It's going to be really close. So the first bucket I put in was my big machines. It was like 3,100 something, no, maybe 3,200. And these are the smaller machines, and there's usually a little less in the smaller machines than the big machines. So we'll see if we get there or not. It's going to be close, like I said. I was going to just weigh quarters this week if I didn't have my change machine. Just bring a scale and weigh them, but nope, we got to keep doing the change counter. Oh, not quite 6,000. But you know what? I bet you we would have had 6,000 if I would have counted that coin box. Now I really want to go over there and see. So I'm going to have to do that. My wife might be annoyed, but that's okay. We'll check the dryers, see what we got in here. That one's out of order, but still, some people still try to use them for some reason. That's a full box. That's a really nice one. So that's good to see. The dryers are our bottleneck. I've said that before. We have enough washers. It's rare that all the washers are being used, although it has happened. But it's not rare that all our dryers are being used. That happens quite often. And so if there's one thing I could do, it would be add more dryers. But we don't have room for that. Now we did add these bigger dryers. We used to have just all 30-pound dryers, which are the ones on my right there, the white ones. They're smaller. And then we took out 6 rows of those, I think, and put in these big 45-pound dryers. So you actually can do more laundry, because instead of having, they take up a little more width, but you can have 90 pounds of laundry in that machine versus just 60 in this other one, and they definitely don't take up, time and a half width, just a little bit. So we also make a little bit more money on those too, I think, because we can charge a little more, but
Okay.
yeah, not bad. Not a ton in these. People definitely like the bigger ones. And people like the ones that are stainless steel too, even though they're pretty much the exact same machine as the white ones. Stainless steel, I think people just think it's newer or nicer. But they're not. They're the same. One more box to go. Did I skip this one too? Nope, I got that one. Maybe I'll do a short or something else this weekend and see what our updated count is. Speaking of that, I don't think I updated my short for today that I was going to upload. And that's for the little laundromat to show its quarters in the change machine and see how it did. So I'll do that right now. While I'm doing that, you can watch the dryer money being counted. Now I hope to get at least 2,000 here. Again, it's a little slower week, so there's a chance it's not that high, but hopefully it is. Oh, there's a dollar coin I found. Sometimes we find those. Did I put that on my... Yes, I did. I did add that onto the number count. Looking for silver quarters. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Almost never is really how often they're there. Oh, I think we're gonna get over 2,000. Yeah, we're definitely over 2,000. That's good. Oh, maybe even 2,100. Oh, barely. Look at that. That's not bad. All right, so it wasn't a bad week at all compared to the weekend. I mean, our record cash we bring in over the weekend is like $1,460, and we brought in 909, so almost 500 less. So it really could have been a real bad week had our, week not made up for it. So here's our sales chart going back to December 2023 when I reopened the laundromat after taking it over in September. You can see our sales were not that great, but they've continuously been improving over and over since then, which is cool. Oh man, my wife just sent me a picture of my truck while I'm doing this, and it shows, oh, they cut my APIM. That doesn't sound good. I don't know what that is, but it sounds expensive. Ugh. That's what I responded with. All right. Like, I have insurance. I have a claim going, but yeah, that's not good. Even if they fix my truck and it runs great, if you ever go to sell it, then it being stolen shows up in a Carfax. It just adds a lot of questions. If you've got to do repair work like this, it adds some questions. So maybe I know sometimes people have been able to get insurance to give them extra money because it decreases the value of the vehicle. So maybe I'll try and work on that too. We'll see. All right, there was our record a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. And there we are today, 2137, which isn't bad. Kind of on the low end the last 2 months, but still the low end for the last 2 months was like an amazing week last year. So that's the good news. Like I said, it might be a little bit higher if I would go count that other box. Maybe it were 2160 or 70 or maybe even 2200. Who knows? So I might have to go do that later, fix this, and maybe do a short or make a note on here what that ended up being. Overall, pretty good week, especially with Easter. Hopefully we got most of the Mountain Dew cleaned up. Vending was okay. Mushroom dryer's okay. And overall, it was fairly clean in there, so that's good. We didn't lose all our customers, so that's good. So overall, pretty good day at the laundromat. All right, we'll have more updates on it next week. The other laundromat will be coming soon, the small one, that video. And of course, we have updates on the liquor store, flips, rentals, all of that stuff coming up soon. I think I'm buying at least one property next week, maybe two. I'm not sure when my closing dates are, but we'll have those as well.